Apparently, my last video on mental health struck a few nerves. A couple of folks even decided that they had to run to Facebook to make little jokes or call me fake or whatever else it is that they felt compelled to do. But here's what that tells me. Some people are more comfortable living in their mind's chaos than they are with confronting their own issues head on to find peace and clarity like I did. Their ignorance on what real growth looks like egregiously speaks to their lack of character and their lack of culture. But before I get too deep into this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Doing so does help the YouTube algorithm recommend this type of content to people who will find it helpful and interesting. First things first, I want to go ahead and define projection for the sake of this video. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism of someone who hasn't dealt with their own trauma or insecurities, and they project those onto other people because facing them themselves is too uncomfortable for them. They're most likely feeling exposed. Your words became a mirror to them, and they don't like the sight of their own reflection. So their disdain and anger is nothing more than a mere facade to project their insecurities onto something else or someone else. In this particular case, me. Mental health for me is more than just some trendy self-care bullshit. It's a way of life. Since I was 14 years old, whether you know it or not, I've been in mental health services in one capacity or another. For me, I can't imagine life without it. Why for you is it suddenly comedy hour when a black man decides to openly speak about his emotional trauma and advocating for those on mental health journeys to share his pain? I don't know. Not sure what you get out of it. Systemically, I know that I speak for the underrepresented minorities. I have elected to be their voice because this world tries to silence and ignore people like me. They often dismiss us as crazy or angry whenever we start to assert our feelings and thoughts on anything. Let's keep it a buck. If you shared it, commented on it, hate watched it, I appreciate it. But let's not pretend that it didn't resonate. If something did hit home, you should be thinking about why. Why are you pressed? Why are you posting about me? Whether you admit it or not, your algorithm did because it came across my timeline. To me, it's strange if for whatever reason I'm on the mind of my brother's baby mama who isn't even here at this time. Your issue with me is one-sided and is solely based on whatever lies you were told or collected about me. And whatever those are, I'm perfectly content with you believing that. But what you didn't have to do was speak on me. You wanted to. That's the difference. Here's a way to think about it. You're not laughing at me. You're laughing because it's easier than you actually doing the work. Laughing is a facade, it's a mask, and it's a mechanism from someone who most likely is sitting on their ass while I'm out here putting in work. This is directly related to that very video on the top 5 mental health things that I wish I'd known sooner. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you do, and cascade it to your sons and your daughters because they may have experienced hardships that like I have. Did you ever consider that maybe I was making content for people who experience things like they have, the death and trauma that has struck my family like a lightning bolt, but they can't utilize me as a resource because people like you get in the way of that. Furthermore, you need to ask yourself, what have you really done to contribute to the betterment of society? You see me, I at least take the risk to do this podcasting, streaming, coaching, YouTubing, and all of that because I want to contribute. I really do have the credentials. I really did graduate with honors from college for this, and I also graduated from the School of Hard Knocks for this. So yes, I can fucking speak to this with clarity. I can speak to this with confidence. So whatever half-truths that it is that you may have in your mind that you believe about me, that's okay. I'm out here growing companies. I'm out here dealing with trauma, and I'm trying to break the generational curse that my nephews and nieces and my sons and daughters all suffer from. I'm putting that on my back. So unless you're about to contribute to that motion, I'm putting out work in the way that I know how to. I never claimed to be the model patriarch, the model family member. I'm not the greatest uncle, but whether I got 1 subscriber or 100K, I'm gonna keep dropping this shit because this is the only way that I know how to contribute to the world. I do have these credentials to speak to this, but I also have the charisma to take this shit to the big leagues. Watch me work. So you can't expose me. I'm too raw for that, too real for that, and there ain't no flaw about me. I'm living proof that if anybody does want to make it out and change their life, they can. This is what hope in the flesh looks like. That's the difference. One of us is healing, the other one is sitting on their ass talking down on someone that's actually trying to make a difference out here. To me, you sound like you're hurting. Maybe you're dealing with some guilt. Maybe you're dealing with grief or mental health issues of your own. But what I do know is I wish you all the best. I see you. I understand that you might be hurting yourself. Don't let that eat you from the inside. I'm gonna give you a pass. Stop pretending to confront me for something because, quite frankly, you ain't got it like that. You ain't got that kind of juice.